Yes, recording has started.
Okay.
Ready to go when you are.
Welcome to Complete with DLC, the only show that wasn't invited to E3. I'm one of your hosts, Griffin, and sitting across from me is the unwanted one, Brad Knight. Brad, how you doing?
You always know how to flatter me.
I know, right? I always like to make you feel good about yourself.
Yeah. It's the show before E3, Jacob. The calm before the storm.
Oh, this is gonna be lovely on Sunday and Monday.
It's gonna be a busy few days.
More lovely on Monday, I think.
Yeah, that's, 9 hours of straight recording? From 12:30 to 9 when the last conference starts at 9?
Yeah, so then we also have probably an hour and a half of that, and then 20 minutes of talking about it.
Yep. And then I gotta edit it and stitch it all together and get it out for a show. But
By the way, that'll be Tuesday's show next week. It's not
Yes.
going to be a regular Tuesday show. It'll just be our thoughts on each E3 press conference.
yes, I'll do some editing magic so it's not, 17 hours long and it's in a digestible size for you fine folk.
Yes. Are you excited for E3?
I am, but I mentioned this to you off air, but I feel like I know more and more about every E3 that happens before it happens. Like, I feel like this year, especially, there was a lot of, this got leaked, and then that got leaked, and then this, that, and the other thing got leaked, so I feel like
It's
a lot
just
of
the
the
culture of us not being able to have nice things and have surprises.
Yeah.
That everyone needs to come out and be like, hey, here's the thing, or here's this thing, or blah, blah, blah.
Yeah,
So-
it's another drawback of the internet.
Yeah.
But that's okay, because it's still... You watch E3, one, for all the stuff they announce, and two, for all the goofs that they make. Because there never does an E3 go without one or two goofs.
We're recording a prediction show after we do this live stream. And in this notebook, I have a lot of actual predictions and a lot of goofs that I think are going to happen. So it's going to be good.
Be an interesting show, but that is for future endeavors.
Speaking of future endeavors, do you want to get into what we're playing?
Let's do it.
Are we just waiting for Paul? Are you actually playing the
Oh, I gotta play the thing. I said I was gonna get the sound thing up, and I didn't, and I ruined it. It's all
Oh.
ruined now.
Because then we were just sitting here going... Do, 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 do.
Okay. Just go.
Brad, what have you been playing this week?
Well, this week I've been playing mostly the same things as Tuesday, but I've realized a pattern with myself.
What is that? You
I've-
get bored with a game after 2 days?
No, it's that I seem to have developed this habit of playing incredibly punishing games for some reason. This is recent, because this isn't how I used to be, but,
Yeah, you've been playing Dark Souls, and you're doing Ultra Nightmare.
Dark Souls 1 and 2, Bloodborne, you reset every time you die. Ultra Nightmare, you reset the whole game every time you die. Fallout 4 Survival, you can only save every, 25 minutes or so whenever you find a bed. Every time you die, you reset, so it's such, I don't know what has gotten into me, but, it's fun and depressing at the same time.
You're becoming a glutton for punishment.
I am, and it's not, I don't know if I'm okay with that or not.
Much like we talked about on last time's show, maybe it's becoming a fetish.
I don't know, really, but what I do know is that I really, really made a mistake when making my Fallout character, because I'm just gonna pump up my charisma for this survival thing. I'm gonna talk my way out of as many situations as I can, because combat in this sucks. Now,
Right.
what I didn't take into account is the fact that every time I failed a persuasion thing, I did the thing with, what's the girl in the, the diner with her son who got hooked on drugs? Trudy, I think her name is.
I know what you're talking about, but...
Yeah. So she's like, oh, you help me deal with those, Wolfgang outside, because she's dealing with, Mozart or something. And so I go over to him, and I try to do a persuasion check, and he's like, oh, back off, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, stop waving the gun in my face. It fails. He shoots me in the face. I die at full health. My head pops off, and I lose 25 minutes of progress.
Great.
That was the single-handedly most frustrating moment of Fallout in my entire career of Fallout.
Should have just shot him.
You know what? I did that the second time, and he beat me again, so...
You should always shoot first, ask questions later.
That's the philosophy I'm going to have to adapt, because charisma is not worth anything in a hostile situation in survival mode. It's just absolutely useless. But that's fine. That's fine. I can learn to deal with it. Ultra Nightmare is still stuck on level 3. I'm keep getting killed by Hell Knights.
Glad to see that that's going well for you.
It's I think the reason I'm bouncing between so many games is because they all frustrate me. So I'll get through 3 levels of Ultra Nightmare, and I'll die, and I'll be like, damn it, I don't want to play through the first 2 levels again. I'll go play something else. I'll go play Fallout. I'll die and lose 25 minutes of progress in Fallout. I'll be like, I don't want to do that again. So I go play Dark Souls, and then I die in Dark Souls, and I'm like, well, I gotta do all that. It's just like swapping between so many different things.
It's like a love-hate relationship with all those games that you're having right now.
It is. I think I just need to buckle down and say, you know what, no, I gotta finish this game. I gotta get through it, and hopefully, once the whole E3 madness passes, I can put a little more time into just completing them.
Mm.
But what have you been playing this week, Jacob? Anything fun? Anything interesting?
I played 2 games, both of them the free PlayStation games. First, the one I'll talk about really quickly because it doesn't really matter. I started playing NBA 2K16. I started over my career mode because I was previously playing on Xbox. And that career mode is just nonsense, but I kind of love it for its nonsense. And actually, I think NBA is like kind of fun to play. Like I never expected to have fun playing with it, like the game at all. Like I have fun playing like the baseball games and the football games because while I don't totally care about sports and I don't follow them, those are like the only 2 sports that I kind of care about. Well, I also like hockey too, and I like NHL.
Well,
but
we're
like,
white, so we have to.
Exactly. White people just like hockey, but so like I've never cared for NBA at all. I've never wanted to play a basketball game. The only basketball game I ever enjoyed was NBA Jam. And even then, I played as the president during that. I never played, or Scorpion. I never played as like actual basketball players. So when it came to playing this game, I never expected to actually enjoy it, but I'm actually liking it a lot.
That's good. It's always nice to find a game that you weren't expecting to enjoy that actually come out liking, because those games to me feel more satisfying for some reason.
I don't think I'll ever put any time into like the other modes, like in Ultimate Team or I mean, I guess I'll do random exhibition games because that's like whatever, it's just a game. But like, I'll never put any like actual time into like building out a team or anything. Like, the only thing I'll ever put in time to is like my career, because that's usually the stuff I have the most fun with in games anyway. Like sports games at least, is going from the bottom to the top. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I'm the same way. When I eventually play that, I'll do the same thing. I'm sort of the odd man out in my family. Everybody else seems to like sports, with the exception of my brothers. They care about as little as I do, but my dad, my cousins, my uncles, they all follow sports. They all care about sports. They do the whole Sunday ritual with food and all that other good stuff, so.
The thing that I think really screws me over is like I find watching sports on TV incredibly boring. Like just sitting there and just watching people play a sport is boring as hell to me, unless it's like a game that matters. So if it's like the playoffs or if it's like the Super Bowl or something, like then I'm in this, let's do this. But like if it's just a random game in the season, like I could care less unless I'm there. Like one of my favorite things, and I don't know if you can tell by my hat, is going to Fenway Park, because going to Fenway Park is an experience like no other, and it's just like it's an amazing, like an entire day in Boston. Like I love it.
Yeah, I've been to a few games, and I do enjoy going to games a lot more than I enjoy watching them. I'm like your casual sports fan, Like you said, I watch the Super Bowl, I'll watch I'll watch the big games, but the other ones I don't really care. I think the only sport that I willingly watched was, when I was younger, I walked into my uncle's house, because he lived not too far, and I was visiting my cousin, my younger cousin, and I walked in and he was watching boxing, because he used to box. And I don't know what it was, but that, like, I had never seen a sport that was, I hadn't seen MMA up to that point.
Right.
So I had never seen a sport that, like, willingly encouraged beating the hell out of each other. And it captivated me for some reason. I'm like, oh my god, it was like I was like the 6th round, so both guys were messed up. One dude couldn't see out of his eye. I'm like, Jesus Christ, what is this? I want to see more.
Yeah, like I'll watch boxing and UFC. I wasn't even thinking about that when it comes to sports, but I guess you're right. Yeah, they are sports. I'll watch those and I enjoy those, but like if it's just like a regular game, like a basketball, baseball, football, hockey, whatever. Like it just, especially golf. If you put on golf, like you're guaranteed to put me to sleep.
I don't know. Golf seems like one of those things that is incredibly hard to play. incredibly boring to watch, but like if you play golf, I can understand why you'd watch it because you know what they're doing and how difficult it is, and
Yeah.
it's like
Maybe-
it's like I equate golf to watching an esport for people who aren't into video games, right?
That's a perfect example because like I'll watch like clips of what is it, League, and that's just nonsense to me. Like,
Yeah,
I have no clue what's going on.
yeah. But when I played League and I would watch, say, Faker play for any League of Legends players out there, you know who I'm talking about. Arguably one of the best players of all time, and might be one of the best this game will see. He does some things that are like inhuman. He's insane at the game, and if you don't play the game, you have no idea why the stuff he's doing is so impressive. It's the same
Right.
thing with like any of the other sports that aren't that popular, like golf. You know, he does one really amazing shot, and everyone's going around like, oh, because that's how they cheer in golf. They have to be really quiet. Yeah.
It's like the clapping at the end of Smash Brothers level.
The first time I saw a golf clap, I thought they were making fun of the guy.
Really?
Yeah, I'm like, why?
Like, ooh, good
Yeah,
job.
like they're sarcastically clapping at him. Like he hit the ball. I think he did good. I mean, I don't know. No need to get down on the guy. Jesus.
Looks like it went pretty far.
Yeah.
But other than playing NBA, the other game that I played was the other free game from PlayStation was Gone Home, right?
I'd heard about this.
I thought I played this game before. Apparently I didn't, right?
Okay.
So I started playing this game, right? And it starts off and you're a girl coming home from a trip to Europe. I'm assuming she's college aged and this was like her summer trip or something. It's in 1990 something. It's late 90s. Might be 95. 95, 96. Doesn't matter. The point is that you show up to this house and there's nobody home, right? It's a dead house. And the first time I started playing, I was like, it's gonna be like a horror game. Like it seems kind of creepy a little bit. There's some stuff going on in the house. There's some noises that you hear because it's like thundering and lightning outside.
Things going bump in the night.
Yeah, sort of stuff. But it turns out to be, and I don't want to spoil anything specific that happens in it. It just turns out to be like a really nice story about like life, love, and relationships. And it really hit me emotionally.
Oh, it's one of those games.
Yeah, like like after I just like felt so like emotional and stuff, and I just kind of sat there for a couple minutes and just like took a breath, and I was like, I don't know what just happened, right?
I've been assaulted by feelings.
And I recommend everybody play this game, right? Even if it's not your kind of thing, like just try it out, right? It's one of those first person go through the house games. It reminds me a lot of like something like Outlast or something like that, because that's why I thought it was a horror game at first. But it's not. It's just a nice story, and you find like these letters, and you hear this
Oh.
girl's story. It's so good. And then I tweeted about it after, and I did that usual thing that I do when I tweet about a game, where I tweet at the company just to so that way if they see it, they saw a nice comment, and that helps them get through their day or something like that. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
the guy actually ended up tweeting back at me.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, and he just said thank you for liking our game and feeling very emotional about it. And I was like, you guys did a great job. Looking forward to whatever you guys do in the future. And then he commented back to me about their next game and stuff. So he's a nice guy. And I wanted to give a shout out to Steve Gaynor of Fulbright for tweeting back at me because he's a cool guy.
Yeah, you know, developers get a lot of flack for oh, this game sucks, your game's awful, blah 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 blah. They hear hundreds of terrible comments about their games all day, so hearing a nice one every now and again, the nice ones are the ones that stick with you.
Yeah. Most of the time, those developers or famous people, they won't tweet back or whatever, and like that's fine. They're busy.
Yeah,
But it's always nice when one does.
shows they're paying attention.
Exactly. But so yeah. So after I went through my existential crisis, that's pretty much all I played this week.
Well, I mean, I feel like we've both learned a little about ourselves this week.
Exactly.
And-
We both had a little.
A revelation.
Yeah.
I'm
Brad, I really think you should play this game because I think you'd actually like really dig it.
okay. I'll definitely have to check it out. I think it'll be interesting. I'll reflect on my thoughts on it.
Yes.
Talk
It,
about
it's
it.
only like an hour and a half to 2 hours long, so like. we can
Nice.
get done
And
with
what
it.
platform is this on? This is on.
It's on PS4.
Okay. Yeah, I'll check it out. Maybe I'll do it after the show. Who knows?
Yeah, it's really good. I really recommend it. So, but we've been taking a long time to talk about what we're playing, and with good reason because there's not a lot of news this week. But let's
Yeah.
get into the news.
Oh, wait, I got it. There it is.
You gotta be ready for these things.
That was
Well,
way louder than I thought it was going to be. Sorry about that.
I know I could hear it, and that was good because then I knew when it ended. Um, so there's not a whole lot of news this week, mainly because E3 is Sunday, or it starts Sunday technically. So there's, just some little stuff out right now. And the first thing we're going to talk about is, Brad, did you like the first Injustice, or did you play it at all?
I played it casually. I didn't play too much of it. I played it. I don't know what my cousin does, so I played it whenever I went over there. He
Hmm.
favored Green Arrow a lot and Flash.
Yeah, Green Arrow and Flash are usually the pretty, what's the word I'm looking for? Jeez, Josh. Thudding on the ground. They're like the cheap characters to me, because they can do some cheap ass moves that you can just keep spamming.
Yeah, every fighting game has them.
Yeah, but I really like the first Injustice. I only bought it to play through the story mode because that's all I cared about. Um,
It's one of the few fighting games with like a good story.
I liked the Mortal Kombat 9 one too.
Which one was Mortal Kombat 9? Was that the one with
That was the one that was like the reboot of Mortal Kombat. It was the one that was just called Mortal Kombat,
Right.
and like it was all about how the world was gonna end and they time traveled or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, but anyway, the reason why we're talking about Injustice is because Warner Brothers Interactive and DC Entertainment announced Injustice 2 with a brand new trailer, which is a fully CG trailer, which is like one of the most beautiful CG trailers I've ever seen in my life.
It is very, very pretty.
Like the CG work on it just looks really, really good. Um, it is a sequel, of course, to Injustice: Gods Among Us, NetherRealm Studios game that was released 3 years ago, and will continue that storyline that started in the first game and expand the roster of DC characters players can use to fight. In the sequel, Batman and his team are working to restore society to what it once was against a group of people who want to reinstate Superman's regime. The studio also teased a bigger threat to Batman and the world at large that will be introduced in the new game. Ed Boon, creative director at NetherRealm, said that the team is introducing new features and mechanics in Injustice 2 that will feature the way fighting games that will change the way fighting games are played, but did not expand on what those features may be. Players will also be given the chance to customize every aspect of their character, from appearance to fighting styles, in a variety of different modes being introduced. And right now, if you download the Injustice Gods Among Us mobile game, you can unlock the Injustice 2 versions of Superman and Aquaman by completing in-game challenge modes. So
I
let's
have
start.
one question about this though.
Yes.
Why is everybody now wearing mechs? Have you noticed that?
Yeah.
Like,
Why does Superman need like an Iron Man suit?
I don't. Yeah,
I assume that that's to
does.
show. I assume it's to show off that customization that they were just talking about.
Yeah, that's probably what it is.
But it's weird when like characters that don't need it have it. Like it makes sense for Batman to have a mech suit because he needs that to fight superpowered people.
Because he is just a guy in a suit.
Exactly. And like with this, I hope the storyline is a little bit better than Injustice 1, because Injustice 1 by the end got like really samey with uh its storyline. Like spoilers for Injustice 1, I mean it's like 3 years old by now, and if you wanted to play it you probably did. uh the game just ends with you with a Superman Doomsday fight, which is real just boring to me at this point.
Because it's always the final clash, right? Is Superman Doomsday.
Yeah, like at first, because it's the way it works is it's like two separate universes, one where Superman went crazy, one where Superman didn't.
Yep.
And then like it was like a Superman fight, and I was like, that's pretty rad. And then it was Superman Doomsday, and I was like, that's not as rad. But did you watch this trailer?
I did.
What did you think of the trailer?
I thought it looked very pretty. I thought it was one of the prettier trailers that I've seen. But I don't know. It's the one thing that caught my attention, like I said, was the fact that everybody now has a mech suit for some reason.
Hmm.
Which, who was that? Superman had one, and what was the other girl?
Supergirl.
Supergirl, duh. She had one too, and I'm like, it doesn't make any sense. I'm like, they don't need them.
Yeah, I think it was just a way for them to show off how you can customize the look of your character in this game.
Yeah, so I'm okay with it. I mean, the first one was fun. I've never been a big fighting game fan. So I'll play it if somebody around me picks it up, but I don't think I'll pick this up myself.
If I do play this game, I think it'll mainly just be for the story mode, and then once I'm done with that, I think I'll be done with the game. just because like I'm not a huge fighting game guy, and I never have. The only game I've ever been kind of competent at was Mortal Kombat 9, and Injustice 1, I guess, because they kind of played the same.
Yeah.
But other than that, like I'm just terrible at fighting games, so I never really want to play them. But I love. I don't know if I love DC. I like a lot of DC stuff, and so
Choosing your words carefully there.
yeah, I don't want to.
Don't want to commit to that yet.
Yeah, even though I've committed to some other things about DC in the past that I don't like that are out there.
I was pretty good at Guilty Gear. That's kind of the only one I was semi good at. I'm like you. I pretty much suck at fighting games.
Mm. Two things I want to talk about in this trailer. Number one, that one shot where the Flash is running at Superman and Superman goes to punch him, and he dodges it.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty great.
Yeah.
And the other thing I want to talk about is I think the voiceover in the trailer is Bryan Cranston from Breaking Bad.
Probably. It sounded like him. I haven't looked it up, but
I've looked it up. I haven't found any information to say whether it is or isn't. But then again, I also thought that the guy playing Paladin Dance in Fallout was George Clooney, and it's not.
no, it's
So
not.
it sounds just like him though.
I'd have to listen to it again to have to be sure, but I'm usually pretty good at identifying voices. But
Also, I hope he's playing Lex Luthor, but if he's not, it sounds like he might be playing Ra's al Ghul because he's talking about like the pit and how he comes out reborn.
fair enough.
Yeah. But that game looked pretty cool. You know what else is pretty cool?
What?
The card game Gwent.
Yeah, it's okay. It's a
Yeah.
decent game.
Gwent, the popular in-game card game in The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt, is getting a standalone release. If a recent European Union trademark filed spotted by NerdLeaks is any indication, the European Union Intellectual Property Office lists a trademark application for Gwent, the Witcher card game, filed in Polish on Monday of this week. The application includes a graphic representation, the logo at the top of this article, which is just the word Gwent, the Witcher card game, and it's in like emerald or something like that, at the top of this article, and is classified as both a video game, card game, and online gaming service, in addition to more broad classifications like jewelry, stationery, leather goods, figurines, and clothing. In a PDF document hosted on the Polish developer's website in March, CD Projekt revealed it was creating a new type of video game format previously unexplored by the studio for release in 2016. There are no other details on the filing, such as which platforms the spin-off may target, though at the very least a PC release through the developer's own GOG seems likely. I didn't know that CD Projekt Red owned GOG.
Yep. I'm for some reason surprised whenever they say in Polish, and then I forget that CD Projekt Red is Polish.
Yeah.
But I'm actually surprised this is existing. Like, this is becoming a thing, because
I'm not at all.
Well, no, they said themselves that they had trouble balancing this for competitive play, and in fact they didn't. Because by the end of the game, when you have most of the cards, you have a deck that is unbeatable. So I'm surprised that this is getting a standalone, because this means one of two things. Either this isn't going to be like a full-fledged game like Magic or Hearthstone, or they found a way to balance it. And either one is interesting.
Something tells me they might have found a way to balance it. Maybe they took out some of the more overpowered cards, or at least toned them down a little bit.
Yeah.
Something tells me this will end up being a game like a Hearthstone or a Magic, like when they make the video game versions of Magic. Like, I don't know if I could see actual cards being made of this, even though they did make some special cards for, what was the last expansion before Blood and Wine?
Heart of Stone, I think it was called.
Yeah, I think, yeah, because if you bought for some reason it was a boxed version of it, all you got inside was a download code and some Gwent cards.
Yeah, so
I don't know if I could see this becoming a full-fledged game, but I could see it becoming like a video game like Hearthstone.
I don't know. I've put not a lot of time, but I put a decent amount of time of my Witcher playthrough in Gwent, because I find it fun. I always play the Witcher mini games they have in there. Like the first game, it's you play dice.
Right.
Witcher 2, it's what is it in Witcher 2? I forget. I don't remember. And Witcher 3 has Gwent, so they're always. I
don't know. Say what you were going to say.
I was just gonna say they're always fun little things to take your mind off whatever it is you're doing.
I played the hell out of Gwent for some reason. Like I don't know what it was. Like I really latched on to Gwent when I played Witcher 3. So this could be fun. I'm looking forward to trying it out when it comes out.
Well, I just hope that if they do want to go the Hearthstone or Magic route, I hope they're ready because that's a big commitment, and balancing those kind of games is not easy. It's a full-time gig.
Mm. They would be smart to go free to play as well.
Yeah, if they had to pick, I would say do the free-to-play like Hearthstone because the Magic format is expensive, to say the least.
Yeah.
Especially, oh, yeah, we knew it was happening. We knew it was coming. But
He's on the floor. He can't see anything. I don't get what his problem is.
that's why he's barking. He needs to see things.
Hey, hey. Oh, there's a guy walking by. It's going down.
Well, sorry, stream. This will get cut out in post, so.
Yeah. Hey, hey. I hate this dog. Why are these people hanging out in front of my house?
No idea.
Josh, get out of the window. All right, well. Okay, good. They're walking back. They're getting away. You calm?
Good? Nope.
Nope. No, he's not good.
Well, I got a lot of editing to do in post, it seems.
I apologize.
It's fine.
Josh.
It's fine.
Stop it. Get out of there. All right. I think he's good.
It's good?
Yeah.
All right.
I think. Yeah. Well, now that we're done talking about Gwent and that's done. It's speaking of dogs.
Yeah.
Watch Dogs 2 has been announced. It's got a whole new city, whole new main character, and a lot more actually. For Watch Dogs 2, Ubisoft Montreal is taking the franchise to San Francisco to focus on a new hero, one who's armed with powerful computer hacking abilities that will give players all new ways to explore and infiltrate its open world. During a live stream presentation yesterday, Ubisoft showed off the game's new protagonist, Marcus Holloway, and how he'll differ from Watch Dogs' Aiden Pierce, who was just the worst character in the world. So boring. Watch Dogs 2 version of San Francisco will go beyond the boundaries of the city itself. Players will be able to explore areas like Oakland, Marcus's birthplace, and Silicon Valley, where powerful corporations reside and vie for technological control of the city. Ubisoft described Watch Dogs 2 version of San Francisco as the Wild West of technology and said its simulation of the city should make players feel like it's alive, even if they've done nothing to intervene. The game's new protagonist, Marcus, is described as a brilliant young hacker and a member of the group DedSec. He's been accused of crimes he didn't commit, a solid narrative justification for the many actual crimes he'll get up to in Watch Dogs 2. Marcus will be able to hack everything in Watch Dogs 2, including vehicles, cars, trucks, helicopters, and even forklifts, computer networks, cell phones, and satellites. He'll also have access to metal 3D printed guns, improvised explosives, a remote-controlled jumper, a small DIY RC device with an arm, and a quadcopter drone, which serves Marcus as his eyes in the sky. Marcus's physical abilities include the ability to parkour gracefully through his environment, chaining leaps and flips together, and a homemade melee weapon, a billiard attached to a bungee cord. Marcus's varied abilities will give players the option to play entirely with stealth, non-lethally, thanks to a taser, or with guns blazing. Ubisoft promises to support all different types of play. Watch Dogs 2 will have a number of factions that the player will contend with, including underground gangs, powerful corporations, and competing hacker groups. The CTOS operating system from the first Watch Dogs will return in the sequel, giving players a worldwide network to hack and exploit. Ubisoft promises an expanded version of seamless online multiplayer from the original game in Watch Dogs 2. Players can simply group up with other members of DedSec. They meet as they play the game's single-player campaign and play cooperatively, the developer said. Watch Dogs 2 will be out on November 15th, 2016 on PlayStation 4, Windows PC, and Xbox One.
It's a long article.
Yeah, very long article. A lot of information to go over there. Brad, what do you think of it all?
Well, Watch Dogs 1 never interested me. It didn't, I saw it when it was announced. It didn't catch my eye, really. But to me, it feels like a more modern GTA, if that makes any sense. Because it's sort of the same thing. You're going on, with the trailer at least, looked like you were going on heists. You were doing, you're You were robbing some sort of office building for like going in the server room or something. And it to me feels like if GTA went tech, right? Because in GTA it's Michael's old school, Trevor's insane, and Franklin doesn't give a damn. So
Franklin's the street.
yeah, Franklin's the street because he's black, so he's gotta be. Otherwise, So I don't know. I don't think I'll pick it up. It doesn't really interest me any more than the first one did. I hope it does. I hope it's successful though, because I know Watch Dogs was something that a lot of people was hoping was going to be a good game, but turned out to not be.
I liked the first Watch Dogs a good amount, right? I didn't think it was like this revolutionary game that it was sort of made out to be when it was first announced. I thought it looked that way when it was first announced, but then once the game actually came out, it didn't hit that point for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I didn't like the driving in it. I didn't like the main character in it. I thought the story was dumb. So with this, from what they're saying, is that they went and looked at what everyone was saying online about the game, what they didn't like, what they did like, and then they sort of doubled down on what people liked and fixed everything people didn't like. And I think this game looks a lot better than the first one. I think we might have like an AC2 situation on our hands here, where when Assassin's Creed 1 came out, it wasn't that great. But then Assassin's Creed 2 came out, and it was, it was all right. It was a lot better than the first one, and it was a lot more fun, and everyone liked the main character. So I'm hoping that maybe that's what happens with Watch Dogs 2 here. I hope we don't get 45 games with this main character like we did with Assassin's Creed 2, because I like the idea that Watch Dogs 2 would have a different hacker main character in each game.
Yeah. The only thing I hope that comes out of this is if this game does well, do not make it a yearly title, Ubisoft. You learned your lesson with Assassin's Creed, and I'm hoping that you don't push your luck with this game until it falls like it did, like Assassin's Creed did, and then you just got to go back to doing it every other year anyway, or every 3 years, or whatever they decided to do. I think it's every other year.
Yeah.
So just, don't screw up from the get-go. Just say, you know what, we learned with Assassin's Creed, so we're going to do every other year with Watch Dogs. We'll flip-flop. We'll do Watch Dogs 1 year, and then next year will be Assassin's Creed, and then Watch Dogs, then Assassin's Creed.
I'm trying to think, when did the first one come out?
Assassin's Creed or Watch Dogs?
Watch Dogs.
2 years ago, I want to say.
I think so.
First Watch Dogs came out in May 2014. Nope, never mind. That's the Wii U version. November 18th, 2014.
Okay. So, May 2014 was the Wii U version? Why did it come out so much earlier on Wii U?
Oh no, it's opposite. The way this Wikipedia thing is like scheduled is weird, or not scheduled, but formatted. May 2017.
Right.
May 2017 was the worldwide release, and then Wii U got it a few months later in November. So yeah, 2 years. So they've had ample time to fix this.
Yeah. I just realized I'm getting a phone call.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Hold on a second.
This only happens when we live stream, too. Well, viewers, I'm here to keep you company until Jacob gets back. I have a lot of editing to do, it seems. So how you guys doing? How's life? How are the kids? So what'd you guys like to talk about? Huh? Anything in particular? Oh, you know what? Let me write this down while Jacob's busy so I know where to look for it. 34 minutes into the recording. 34 minutes. Cut. Aha. I write everything down on a little index card. Makes it a lot easier when I'm going back and looking through the show. Nope, I see him put the phone down.
My mom gets so mad at me because I get mad whenever she calls me in the middle of the show because I just want to not do this.
Well, it would help if she knew that you did a show.
Yeah, I just don't feel like going through that information with her. I just realized, too, I didn't even mute my mic in general, so you're just going to have to cut that fully out of the audio.
Oh, okay. Well, that's okay. I wrote it down.
All right.
Sorry, stream. It's not usually like this, believe it or not. We're usually a little more,
Today is just been everything's been thrown at the wall, going bad for some reason.
What else is new?
But, oh my god. But let's finish this up before it's done. I think Watch Dogs looks cool. Brad thinks Watch Dogs looks cool, or he doesn't really care.
It looks cool. I mean, graphically, it looks pretty cool. I mean, that was a pre-rendered thing, but
Yeah, did you not watch the full developer video?
I glanced through it. I didn't really pay attention. I watched the character video, which was literally nothing about the character.
The character video is literally the most obnoxious thing ever, but the song in it is pretty great.
I don't know. I don't know what they were trying to accomplish with that video, but they certainly didn't do it. Unless it was
Yeah.
to annoy their viewers, in which case, yeah, you did do it.
The weird thing was is that if you watch the full developer video, it like in the beginning it shows that pre-rendered trailer, then it's them talking about the game, then they talk about the city, and then they talk about the character. They show the character trailer, and then they show gameplay from then on out. The gameplay looks really fun. The parkour looks really good in it, actually.
I'll have to. I'll pay more close attention to this one than I did the first one. See if it's an Assassin's Creed 1 to 2 thing. Maybe I'll check it out.
Let's give you a little preview of my predictions for E3. I think we're going to see a demo of this game at Ubisoft's press conference.
Oh, probably. I would be very surprised if we didn't.
So yeah, so get excited for that. But speaking of getting excited, we're going to get excited for the wrap up. Yeah.
There's no sound clip for this one, so.
No, there's not. Square Enix announced Deus Ex Go, a mobile game based on the stealth and combat cyber dystopian franchise, due out on mobile platforms later this summer. The game follows the essential turn-based template of previous releases from in-house developer Square Enix Montreal, such as Hitman Go and Lara Croft Go. Players take on the role of Adam Jensen as he makes use of combat, hacking, and augmentations to defeat enemies. Jensen must navigate a maze of squares, avoiding bad guys' attacks, while taking down enemies using power-ups and special weapons dotted around the map. Do you have any?
I'm tired of mobile games being called blank Go.
Well, that's just a Square Enix thing, I think, because Hitman and Lara Croft are owned by Square Enix. So I think that that's just a Square Enix thing where their mobile versions of games are going to be Go versions. They've also... Deus Ex Go was one of the trademarks they filed, so I'm curious if their other ones come out like Life is Strange Go and Just Cause Go.
Just Cause Go I could see, but what are you going to do with Life is Strange?
I have no clue. I'm very curious what Just Cause Go is going to be like. That might have just been a thing where they just filed the trademarks just to have them.
Possible.
Yeah. Destiny's next expansion, Rise of Iron, is set to launch on September 20th and only on PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, so it's not coming to the last generation consoles, according to an image that the game's official website posted too early. Leaks, everybody. They're doing a live stream of that today, so there's probably going to be more information out after this, or it could already be out, but I have no clue. So
because we always record the show right before information gets dropped.
Exactly.
But everybody's really upset about the fact that it's not coming to last generation. And I don't know why. Like, I'm genuinely confused about that. Like, you can't be surprised at this point. Every developer has said that they're done developing for last gen. Like,
I mean, how many years in are we on these new consoles? And
2, I want to say. 2 and 2, actually almost 3, I want to say. When did Xbox One come out? Xbox One, the X-Bone.
Came out November 2013.
October 2013.
October? Really?
I just Googled it. I just looked at the product details. October 2013. So, almost 3 years in October. So, like 2.5 right now.
Yeah, so, I mean, they've been supporting Destiny pretty regularly for it. I'm sure they'll still get, like, you know, maybe like those little events like Halloween and Christmas or whatever, but...
Yeah, but the expansions, you can't be surprised not getting them at this point. That is a lot of developer time to make sure that it runs on both generations. And you're going to get better quality content if you can allow the developer to focus on a singular generation.
I'm shocked this game is not on PC yet.
Yeah, I am too, kind of. I feel like it would fit pretty well on PC. The whole no matchmaking thing does kind of screw things over. Well, no matchmaking for the raids. Everything else has matchmaking.
Fallout 4's original score is being pressed onto vinyl records for a limited edition package that fans can now pre-order on the Bethesda store. This is Fallout 4's score, which was composed by Einon Zur. That sounds like a freaking...
It's a villain name.
That's a villain name from like a sci-fi movie.
Yeah.
Not the soundtrack of licensed music such as hits by the Ink Spots that plays on in-game radio stations. The 65 track score runs for more than 3.5 hours and comes in a box set of 6 blue vinyl LPs in 3 full-color gatefold jackets. Only 3,000 sets are being produced according to the product page in the Bethesda store.
You freaking hippies.
No, you hipsters, they're not hippies.
They're same thing in my book. Hipsters, hippies, call me a racist, I don't care. They're all the same freaking
But
thing.
vinyl sounds
They
better,
both hate
Brad.
shoes.
Vinyl sounds better.
Okay, I guess.
Just because you're not an audiophile like everyone else.
I'm not. I mean, I have a pretty decent headset, but it's nowhere near an audiophile headset, and I don't care about audio or electronic versus physical, and it makes no difference to me. I don't care.
I get that way when it comes to bit rates. Like,
Oh.
if anything's below 128, fucking whatever, kilobits per second, or whatever it is for music, I can't stand it. But since we're done with all the news and everything, we're gonna go into, well, that sucked.
Oh, I don't have. Well, that sucked on the soundboard. Never mind.
Great.
Thought I did.
Welcome to Well That Sucked. The way the game works is simple. I give Brad 3 randomly selected games and he has to tell me which of the 3 is the lowest rated according to the website Metacritic. I can give Brad no help besides a brief description of the game if Brad asks for it. Brad, are you ready?
Yes.
Round 1.
Round 1.
See if you can figure out what the theme is. Watch Dogs,
No.
Destiny, Injustice Gods Among Us. Games mentioned on the show.
Oh, I was gonna say I don't know any common theme between the 3 of them. I am gonna go. Well, hold on. I'm almost tempted to go Watch Dogs right out of the gate because that game did not do well in its release. Destiny didn't do so well either, but you know, it sort of caught back up and people are okay with it now. And Injustice, I feel like everybody kind of loved that when it came out. They were like, yeah, it's a fighting game with the superheroes we all know and love. And it has a story mode, so woohoo. So, I think that did okay. I think I'm going to go with Watch Dogs, just because that's my gut instinct. I feel like nobody liked that game when it came out.
You locking in Watch Dogs?
I'm locking in Watch Dogs.
You'd be wrong, Brad.
Wow, okay, I'm surprised. Is it
Destiny was the lowest rated. Can you tell me what Destiny was rated?
Probably like a 72.
76.
Ah, I get so close.
Watch Dogs was the second highest rated with an 80. And
Wow.
Injustice Gods Among Us was the highest rated with an 81.
That game got a lot of flack for a game to get an 80.
Yeah, I know. I think it got a lot of flack more from gamers than critics. Like, it's a perfectly serviceable game.
Yeah, it's a problem. I base all my ratings on the public outcry, which is not always reflecting of what the critics think.
You forget that we're going with critic reviews here, not
And not user reviews.
See if you can figure out the round. Oh wait, round 2.
Round 2.
Okay, old timey announcer.
I gotta keep it interesting.
The boys in blue around here for round 2. See if you can figure out the theme here. Temple Run, Angry Birds,
Mobile games.
Cut the Rope. You figured it out.
Yeah. Is this where we've stooped to?
I was thinking about a different round that I have in here for round 3, and then I was like, oh no, I could just use that in a different round for one of the games.
So there's no way it's Angry Birds, right? Like that's the most successful mobile game like ever.
Yeah.
It's got a freaking movie about it. So I don't think it's that. It could be I'm tempted to go just Cut the Rope because it's the only one out of that isn't like a big brand that spawned all these like knockoffs. Like there's a million Temple Run games and a million Angry Birds clones, but are there really that many Cut the Rope clones? Now I'm basing this on how many clones have they spawned because that's how I judge success of a mobile game. I'm gonna go with Cut the Rope because I think that's the least big of the 3.
Brad, I'm gonna let you in a little secret. This round was a trick round, right?
What?
2 games rated the same, so technically both the lowest. Those 2 games being Temple Run and Angry Birds, and Cut the Rope was the highest rated.
Are you kidding me?
Yes.
Wow, I got it wrong and I had a 2 out of 3 chance.
Yeah. Can you tell me what
How
Angry
is Cut
Birds?
the Rope higher than Angry Birds?
I don't
There's
know.
no Cut the Rope movie.
By the
I
way,
should shut my mouth because then there will
by,
be.
by the way, too, I also doubled this as a round. I didn't mention it in the thing because it was just too convoluted. But these are all mobile games that have movie deals. So Cut the Rope is becoming a movie.
You're joking.
I'm not.
God.
And Cut the Rope is actually a huge franchise. Like they have like little plushies of that little green guy like all over the place.
Why have I never heard of this?
I don't know. Can you tell me what Temple Run and Angry Birds are both rated?
Like an 87.
It's an 80. They're both 80. Cut the Rope is the highest rate with a 93.
What?
Cut the Rope is a fun game. Have you ever played Cut the Rope?
No, I've never heard of Cut the Rope until this minute.
You really?
No.
Oh, it's a little piece of candy is on a rope, and you have to cut it to get stars and get it into this green like alien thing's mouth.
Is it like the thing from Toy Story? Those little green guys?
I kind of. He's like a little green like ball looking thing, and he has like kind of like an antenna thing, and he has 2 eyes and a big mouth with like 3 teeth in it.
I've never heard of this.
I guarantee you, if you look it up, you'd be like, "Oh, I've seen that green thing before."
Googling it right now.
Do it. I want to say you've definitely seen.
Cut the Rope.
His name is Om Nom. You've definitely seen Om
I've
Nom.
never seen this thing before.
You've never seen that before?
No.
How? It's usually like in the well, I don't know about anymore because I don't usually pay attention to mobile games, but like it's like the top 3 usually, or it was back in the day. It was like this, Temple Run, and Angry Birds.
No, I've never seen this before.
That's crazy.
Screw you, iTunes. You give it a 4.2 out of 5.
It's a good game. It's a fun game. Round 3.
Round 3.
See if you can figure out the theme here. World of Warcraft, Need for Speed: The Run, Ratchet and Clank, the OG PS2 one.
So, video games that were turned into movies? Except for
yes.
the Ratchet and Clank one, because wasn't that based on the first game, which was based on the...
No, the remake was based on the movie, which is based on the first game. So the movie is technically based on the first game.
Ah.
Also, I have it written here as games that have been made into movies in honor of Warcraft in theaters now, because we're sponsored by Warcraft. No, I'm just kidding. Imagine. I wish.
So the original Warcraft?
No, World of Warcraft.
Oh, World of Warcraft. So World of Warcraft, Need for Speed, and
Need for Speed: The Run. I specifically chose this one because it's the one that's most like the movie.
Okay. I've never played that one, so I don't know.
It's like a cross-country race.
I think one of the ones I have the most time in is Most Wanted, so it's really the only one I have any knowledge of.
Love Most Wanted.
And the third one was...
OG Ratchet and Clank.
OG Ratchet and Clank. Well, Ratchet and Clank did pretty well. Though I don't know how the first game was received. I think it did pretty well. If I remember that correctly. I think the first Ratchet and Clank came out, and everybody was pretty happy with it. World of Warcraft, how do you quantify that, though? It's been going on for so long.
And this is like vanilla WoW.
Well, that's gonna be tough, because vanilla WoW is brutal. Huh.
I'll kill this dog. I'll skin him and put him on my fireplace.
Make a scarf out of him.
Hey.
Oh, God.
Stop it. Stop it. It's just me here.
There's gonna be a lot of editing in this one.
Hey. What is your problem today? Calm down. Are you still thinking?
No, I'm just waiting for him to stop, so I don't have to awkwardly cut in an answer.
I think he stopped.
Yeah, he looks calm. I think he's good.
Oh, that's right. You can see him. I forgot.
All right. So Warcraft, I don't want to go with Warcraft just because it would hurt me personally inside to go Warcraft. Need for Speed, I never played that one, so I have no basis on how that is. And the OG Ratchet and Clank, I think, did pretty well on its release. So based on that, I have to go with Need for Speed just because the other two I can't pick.
Brad, you got one right.
Hey, look at that. I was actually trying to go for 3 wrong at that point.
What did you think that the Need for Speed The Run was rated?
76.
68.
Oh, okay then.
Second highest rated was Ratchet and Clank with an 88, and the highest rated was World of Warcraft with a 93. That is on par with Cut the Rope.
I am disheartened to hear that. I'm actually surprised OG World of Warcraft got that good of a review.
Yeah, I love Vanilla WoW. That's what got me. Well, actually, what got me into it was they made a South Park episode where they played World of Warcraft, and it was made like when they were playing WoW, it was machinima of WoW.
Yeah,
So
it's
that
one of
really
the few
got
episodes I've seen.
yeah, it really got me into playing that, like wanting to play that game. So that's what I got Vanilla WoW that Christmas, and I just played so much of it.
I feel like a large majority of the people I talked to who played WoW had heard of it from that South Park episode. So that thing garnered a lot more traffic than I think a lot more people realize.
Yeah, I had like no clue about WoW before that episode.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I have a question. What's the other South Park episode you seen? Was like the Guitar Hero one?
It's the only one off the top of my head that I know I've seen. I honestly can't name another South Park episode.
They're all good. You should watch them.
I don't watch South Park.
It's a funny show.
So I've heard.
But Brad, you lost this week.
I did.
But maybe I can make it up to you by letting you read me the spiel.
The odds are slanted in my favor, and I still lost.
Exactly.
So if you want to get in touch with us, you can do that at completewithdlc@gmail.com. It's going to be the best place to send all your comments, questions, concerns, or if you just want to chat with us, that's the best place to do it. If you want to talk to one of us specifically, either Jacob or myself, put our name in the subject line or the body of the email so we can direct the question to the correct person, and I can make sure the correct person answers you. If you don't want to email us, you just want to keep up to date with all the show's stuff, then head over to Twitter and type in Complete with DLC, because that is us. And we will definitely be putting up all of the stuff that we do on the show. Jacob runs the Twitter. He puts up all the information about the new episodes that go up at the various YouTube series that happen, so on and so forth, that kind of thing. They do he does the social media thing. Don't look at me. I don't do social media. I don't know what he does. It's all magic as far as I'm concerned. If you don't want to follow the social media and you just want to get all of the new stuff for the show, then you're going to want to head over to wherever you get your podcasts, whether that be iTunes, SoundCloud, Stitcher, or Google Play, or any of the affiliates thereof. And once you're there, please use whatever review software it gives you, whether that be thumbs, stars, arrows, or smiley faces. And we will happily take any reviews that you guys give us, any feedback you have, and we will try to improve the show with whatever you recommend, because we like to think we're moving in the right direction in terms of show quality, but we never quite know. That's why you guys are here. We need your help. As with so many other things. If you don't want to instead talk to the show and you just want to talk to Jacob specifically, Jacob, where can they talk to you?
They can talk to me on any sort of social media at itsjaygriff, ITSJAYGRIFF. I'm probably most active on Twitter, so if you really want to get in touch with me, you should go to Twitter, because that's where you'll definitely get me. Brad, where can they get in touch with you?
If you want to get in touch with me, you can do that on Twitter as well. I am Kalgny on Twitter, KALGNE. But if you don't use social media, or you don't think that I use social media, which you would be correct, then you're going to want to head over to Battle.net. I am Brad, hashtag 1261 on Battle.net. You have to put the hashtag in between the Brad and the 12, just because it's the way Blizzard does things. I don't know. If you do send me a friend request on that, send me a message as to where you heard the friend code, whether that be a podcast episode, a YouTube video, wherever else you heard it. Just let me know so I can keep a physical note of that, and I can keep track of the fact that you're a podcast listener and I don't accidentally delete you. Oh, and if you want to watch us live, you can head over to twitch.tv/completewithdlc. We live stream the shows at approximately 1 p.m. Eastern. We don't live stream every episode just because sometimes we have some technical difficulties, or one of us has a bad hair day, whatever it might be.
Sometimes we're in a bad mood. Sometimes this dog just won't stop.
Exactly. Like, if we had known that we were going to have this many interruptions, we probably wouldn't have live streamed this episode.
No, definitely not.
So Jacob will usually send out a tweet as to whether or not any specific episode will be live streamed. Just keep an eye out for that over on the Twitter. Like I said, Complete with DLC on Twitter. So I believe that is all the show's information.
I think that's everything.
Is that everything, Jacob?
The music recommendation.
I forgot all about the musical recommendation.
I did too.
Okay. I'm gonna quickly go to YouTube and just look down this thing and see if anything just pops up in my head. Looking. Boom, found it. All right, so you're gonna want to head over to YouTube and go and type in Instalock. They do covers of a lot of League of Legends stuff. It's all League of Legends stuff, as far as I know, and one Minecraft one, which is really weird,
Why is that weird?
because it's just out of place.
Right.
Like they have like 70 covers of like League of Legends things, and then one Minecraft one.
Yeah.
So recently they've started doing like rap battles between different League of Legends characters. I haven't listened to them personally, but a lot of the covers they do of like pop songs with League of Legends like motifs, like they redub the songs to be all League of Legends based, and
Right.
they're really really good. They're very high quality stuff. So head over to YouTube, type in Instalock, Instalok. It's spelled kind of weird, so
Yeah.
head over there. Some really good stuff.
Brad, are you familiar with The Lonely Island?
I am familiar with Lonely Island. Yes.
Well, they had a new movie come out called Pop Star Never Stop Never Stopping. Haven't seen it yet. Really want to see it, but the soundtrack for that movie is probably one of the most hilarious things I've ever heard in my life. So I really recommend checking out the Pop Star soundtrack. It's very good. If you like Lonely Island, it's like their usual stuff. If you don't like Lonely Island, then
Avoid
I guess
it.
avoid it. Listen to Instalock. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's my musical recommendation for this week. That's the show.
That's it. It's over.
It's done. Finito. This has been Complete with DLC. I'm Jacob Griffin,
I'm Brad Knight.
and thank you for listening. Did you end the stream yet?
No, the little sound clip is playing.
Oh, that's right.
All right, stream. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye-bye, stream. All right, stream is stopped.